Welcome back. My final tipping point tonight. Sometimes the truth is difficult to hear. Last night I pointed out that racism is behind the Black Lives Matter movement, but not the racism that the movement claims to protest. The racism inherent to the Black Lives Matter movement comes from the founders, 3 lesbian women whose goals include destroying the rule of law in America. The founders of the movement ought to make their slogan, "My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of anarchy," because that matches their goals more than claiming they care about black lives. I was called a racist for my point last night that a subculture in the black community in our inner cities promotes drugs, thugs, and money over parenting and family values. That lack of nuclear family structure, the absent father culture, is part of the reason young black men are astronomically more likely to commit crimes than their white counterparts. I pointed out the FBI statistics about crime, about murder, about shooting. According to the Federal Bureau of Investigation, an average of 112 black men are killed by police every year. This data was collected several years ago. Contrast that with the average of 4,472 black men that are killed every year by other black men. If the Black Lives Matter movement cares about black lives, why don't they talk about this? Instead, the founders are too busy expressing adoration for cop killer Assata Shakur. The founders, 3 women named Alicia Garza, Patrice Coolers, and Opal Tometi, are dedicated, in their own words, to rebuilding the black liberation movement. They believe that black people, and I'm quoting here, black people bear the burden of state-sponsored Darwinian experiments that attempt to squeeze them into boxes of normality defined by white supremacist state violence. Does that sound like peaceful protesting to you? It certainly doesn't to me, even more so when you realize that the founders of the Black Lives Matter movement suggest as a solution a Marxist-style revolution. Not every person who participates in the protests is a racist. Not every person condones killing cops. But make no mistake, the founders of the movement are sympathetic to violence against white people and against police officers. The truth is hard to hear, but in the end, the truth will set you free. And that's my final point tonight. Reach me on Twitter at Liz_Wheeler. And if you like the show, please send me an email at oann.com/contact.